Let me make something crystal clear to you. Adversity shapes resilience, and it always has. That's the reality of life, whether you like it or not. Do you really believe the path carved by those before you was smooth? That men who left their mark on history coasted through an easy existence? Not a chance. Fragile men waste their days complaining, pretending they're helpless, clinging to the hope that a miracle will change their lives. But real men, strong men, they thrive in hardship. They don't run from discomfort, they embrace it. Every challenge, every blow, every obstacle thrown their way makes them tougher, sharper, more relentless. My journey wasn't one of comfort or luxury. I didn't inherit wealth. I didn't wake up one day with success handed to me. There was no fast car parked in front of a mansion waiting for me. I began with nothing. Not a penny, not a plan handed down to me, just grit and determination. Each day was a battle, a fight to earn money, a fight to simply get by, a fight to carve out a future. And do you know what? I wouldn't trade that struggle for anything, because if I had been handed everything on a silver platter, I would have never built the strength, discipline, and character that define me now. The world, in many ways, is set up to make you weak. Society doesn't want you powerful. The system thrives when you're distracted, broke, and obedient. It feeds you meaningless entertainment, shallow pleasures, and empty stimulation to keep you from chasing your real potential. While you're glued to your screen wasting time, others are building empires, and you're being left behind. But let me give you a reality check. If you're not in control of your future, someone else will be. If you're not pushing your boundaries, someone else is, and they'll take everything you ever wanted. I didn't get to where I am by luck or by waiting around. As a teenager, I was already hustling, carrying heavy loads, running just to get to work, exhausting myself daily. While others were sulking about their problems, I was out grinding, focused, training for a life I knew could be mine if I earned it. Because deep down, I understood one truth. No one was coming to rescue me. Not the government, not friends, not fate. It was entirely on me. I had to decide. Stay in the shadows of mediocrity or rise above, fight for a future worth living, and force the world to acknowledge my worth. Let me pose a question to you. Are you genuinely living up to your capacity? Are you starting each day ready to conquer it, fueled by purpose? Or are you frittering away your time on trivial pursuits buried in distractions and drowning in excuses? Many of you aren't stepping up. You lack drive, you lack self-control, and you're caught in an endless cycle of procrastination and indulgence, and that is why you're not winning. The separation between those who triumph and those who fail is simple. Successful people endure hardship willingly. They lean into the pain. They show up when nobody's watching. They don't make excuses. They make progress. Rain, fatigue, loneliness. None of that stops them. They know that greatness isn't gifted. It's taken, earned, fought for. You've been sold a dangerous lie that you need to feel good to get started. That's just weakness disguising itself as logic. Motivation is fleeting. You don't need a spark of inspiration to act. What you need is discipline. What you need is consistency. The giants of history didn't wait until everything felt perfect. They took action in the face of discomfort, when fear gripped them, when the odds were against them. And so must you. I don't care if you're exhausted. I don't care if life seems unfair, because the cold, brutal truth is no one cares. You can either wallow in self-pity, or you can use every painful experience as fuel to forge a stronger version of yourself. You can either surrender to weakness or develop such an unbreakable spirit that nothing can shake you. Look around. This world doesn't make it easy. It's full of traps and systems designed to keep you compliant, dull, and weak. Weak men are easier to control, and that's why so many are encouraged to stay soft. But you weren't meant to be one of them. You weren't made to obey. You were born to lead, to rise, to conquer. Success isn't for everyone. It's for those willing to endure what others can't, those willing to grind, to bleed, to push themselves beyond the limits of comfort. It's not about luck or talent or the hand you were dealt. It's about your willingness to endure the journey that breaks others. You say you want wealth, strength, power, but are your actions aligning with your words? Are you cutting out the noise? Are you choosing discipline over temporary pleasure? Are you putting in the work when no one's watching? Or are you just another loud voice with no substance? Your current reality is shaped by every decision you make. Every moment you're either rising to the challenge or slipping further into the background. You either step forward and claim your power, or you let it fade. You either shape your destiny like a warrior, or you drift into irrelevance, forgotten and replaceable. The choice is yours, but the consequences are permanent. Which man will you become? Let me be perfectly clear. I made my decision a long time ago. I decided I wouldn't live a life defined by limits or shaped by fear. I committed to pushing beyond every barrier, to becoming unbreakable in a world that constantly encourages weakness and conformity. I made the choice to fight, to rise, to carve my own path, and now I live in the reality I forged through relentless effort, sacrifice, and unwavering focus. The question is, what direction are you going to take? You must come to terms with one unchanging truth. Life isn't concerned with how you feel. The world doesn't reward excuse. If the universe doesn't recognize complaints, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to walk up to your doorstep, acknowledge your hardships, and gift you success wrapped in a bow. That's a fantasy. In the real world, you either claim what you desire or you're left with nothing. You either overcome life's trials or get buried beneath them. Too many men waste their lives waiting for motivation, for opportunity, for the stars to align. And while they stall, hoping for the perfect conditions, the ones who understand how the world really works are already taking action. They're not waiting for permission. They're building themselves into forces that cannot be ignored. That's the harsh truth. There is no ideal time to begin. There is only now. Every moment you spend hesitating, overthinking, procrastinating is a moment stolen from your future. And some of you might be saying, but it's difficult. Of course it is. It's meant to be. The difficulty is what makes it valuable. If success were simple, everyone would have it. If becoming powerful required no pain, no sacrifice, no persistence, the world would be overflowing with wealthy, accomplished individuals. But that's not the reality we live in, because most people aren't willing to pay the price. Now is the time to ask yourself, are you going to be like the masses, those who accept an ordinary life, who settle for mediocrity, who never strive beyond what's comfortable? Or will you be among the rare few who take control of their fate? Because hear this, no one will give you power. No one will hand you honor or influence. These things must be seized, earned, built with consistency, discipline, and unrelenting belief in your own capacity. Look at the men who changed the course of history. Leaders, warriors, legends. They all shared one trait. They didn't tolerate weakness within themselves. They didn't fold under assure or make excuses. They fought, they acted, they conquered, and you've got that same fire within you. It's there, buried beneath all the distractions and doubts. The question is whether you'll awaken it or let it fade away, like countless others who never had the courage to pursue greatness. You have two paths in front of you. You can suffer temporarily, endure the hardship, sacrifice, and discomfort required to achieve something meaningful, or you can choose long-term suffering. The kind that comes later in life, when you realize you wasted it, the kind that comes when your body is weak, your dreams are dead, and all you have left are memories of what could have been. That kind of regret, it's unbearable. Knowing you had everything within you to become extraordinary, but you traded it for comfort, distraction, and laziness, that pain cuts deeper than any failure. I would choose to grind, to strain, to push myself past my limits every day of my life rather than face that. I would rather sweat and bleed chasing a dream than live with the weight of knowing I never even tried. That's why I wake up each day with a burning purpose. That's why I carry the same intensity, the same hunger, the same will to win. I will not allow myself to fade into the background. I will not accept mediocrity. I refuse to be anything but exceptional. And you should too. Let's be honest here. Most people haven't even scratched the surface of what they're capable of. You think you're putting in the work, but are you really? You hit snooze in the morning. You waste hours scrolling aimlessly. You fill your mind with garbage and distractions. Then you wonder why your goals seem so far out of reach. You moan about not having money, not being where you want to be, but you're not doing the work. You're not sacrificing. You're not locked in. And while you're making excuses, time keeps slipping through your fingers. The world owes you nothing. Success doesn't wait for you to feel ready, and the clock doesn't stop ticking. Every second that passes is gone forever. Every minute you give away to mindless habits is a minute you could have spent building something great. The longer you delay, the more you lose. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about deciding that your future is worth the struggle, worth the pain, worth the endless effort. Because if you don't decide that now, you'll wake up one day and realize it's too late. And there's no worse fate than realizing your best days were wasted because you didn't have the discipline to act. So make your decision. Do you want to be powerful? Do you want to be remembered? Do you want to look in the mirror and be proud of the man staring back at you? Then stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop wasting your potential. The path won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And the only way forward is to move. Right now. Every single moment you spend idling, avoiding effort, or indulging in meaningless distractions is a moment taken directly from the future you could be shaping. Every day spent drifting aimlessly is a day stripped from the empire you could be constructing. An empire built not from luck, but from relentless drive and hard-earned discipline. And look, I understand how deeply the world has conditioned you to accept weakness. From every direction, you're told that hardship is to be avoided, that discomfort should be numbed, that you're better off taking it slow and enjoying the moment. But that's a lie. That's the snare laid out for you by a system designed to keep you soft, passive, and powerless. The truth? The moment you begin to prioritize ease over effort is the moment you start to decay. Ease is seductive, but it's lethal. Comfort is not your ally. It is your downfall. The second you surrender to it, your growth halts. Your progress stalls. You begin to rot from the inside out. Greatness doesn't bloom in safety. It grows in the soil of adversity under pressure through pain. That's exactly why I never stop pushing myself. No matter how far I've come, no matter how much I've achieved, be it financial success, physical strength, or personal power, I continue to climb. Because the moment I let myself coast, the moment I ease up, I begin to lose what I fought so hard to gain. And I will never allow myself to become frail. Weakness is a disease, a slow, creeping illness that disguises itself as peace. So ask yourself this. Are you going to keep repeating the same empty cycle? Are you going to let your days slip by while you justify your inaction? Are you going to sit around hoping someone will notice your potential and hand you the life you dream about? Or are you finally going to rise, take full responsibility, and forge yourself into the man you were always capable of becoming? Because here's a brutal fact. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to knock on your door, congratulate you on enduring life's struggles, and give you the success you crave. That's on you. The only person who can mold your destiny is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Do you have the strength to endure hardship now so you can taste victory later? Are you truly prepared to go beyond what's comfortable, to eliminate every distraction, to silence every excuse, and to tear weakness out from your life at its roots? Because if you are, if you're really committed, then there is absolutely nothing on this planet that can stand in your way. Everything you desire, every version of yourself you dream about, is within reach. But there is a cost, and that cost is suffering. It's sacrifice. It's showing up and putting in the work long after the feeling of motivation has disappeared. So what's your choice? Will you embrace frailty, or will you summon strength? Will you choose leisure, or will you choose legacy? Will you keep manufacturing excuses, or will you finally start delivering results? The clock's ticking. You're not promised more time. At some point in every man's journey, he's faced with a defining decision. Do I aim for significance, or do I settle for mediocrity? Do I embrace the fire of the warrior, or do I wither as a coward who hides behind comfort? There is no in-between. You're either moving forward or regressing. You're either ascending or collapsing. Don't fool yourself into believing that stagnation is stability. It's not. It's slow death. Take a hard look at your life. Evaluate your habits, your patterns, your routines. Are your daily choices setting you up to win, or are they sabotaging your future? Every decision you make, from the moment you wake up to the moment your head hits the pillow, is shaping your destiny. Every shortcut, every moment wasted on cheap entertainment, every time you give in to distraction, you're chaining yourself to a life of insignificance. Most men don't realize they're building their own prison, brick by brick, one lazy day at a time. They sleep in, binge on garbage, scroll mindlessly through their phones, then wonder why they're broke, powerless, and invisible to the world. But life doesn't reward the lazy. It doesn't hand out success to those who merely wish for it. You don't get what you want. You get what you earn. And if you don't seize the reins of your life, someone else will. They'll use you. They'll benefit from your labor while you remain stuck in place, too distracted and too complacent to realize you've been turned into just another cog in their machine. That's what the system wants. Men who are compliant, quiet, weak. They want you addicted to dopamine, dependent on validation, too mentally numb to rebel. But you don't have to play that game. You can shatter the cycle. You can choose a higher path. But it won't be comfortable. It won't be quick. And it definitely won't be easy. Because anything worth having demands something from you in return. It asks for pain, for sacrifice, for relentless effort, day after day. But that's what forges real strength. That's what forges real men. The struggle is the process. The suffering is the transformation. The adversity isn't your obstacle. It's your proving ground. I've been there. I've had nothing. I've worked soul-crushing jobs, battled through uncertainty, clawed my way up from the bottom, and I could have stayed there. I could have accepted the status quo, but I chose not to. I refused to live as a shell of what I knew I could be. I rejected the easy way because I understood something most never will. No one is going to give you what you want. Life owes you nothing. If you want to rise, you must take it. And if you're not ready to fight for it, then step aside for those of us who are. I made a decision to seize control of my life. I stopped waiting, stopped wishing, and started acting. I stood up. I trained relentlessly. I made countless sacrifices, and I committed myself to becoming sharper, tougher, smarter, and more formidable with each passing day. I gave everything I had to rise above the average, to evolve into someone who couldn't be broken. And now? Now, I live with autonomy. I move on my own terms. I've carved out a life shaped by effort and resilience, not luck or privilege. And the truth is, you can do the same. But first, you need to face the reality you've been running from. You need to stop feeding yourself comfortable lies, stop pretending you're giving it your all when deep down, you know you're holding back. Know this. Improvement demands discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in safety. It requires deliberate, uncomfortable change. And that means letting go of the people, habits, and distractions that are keeping you stuck. Ask yourself, are you really prepared to cut out the time wasters? Are you ready to walk away from the ones who drain your energy and slow your progress? C. And you keep working when there's no recognition, no validation, no one cheering you on, just silence and your own inner voice telling you to keep going, because that's what real success requires. It's forged in solitude, in silence, in struggle. Weak individuals collapse the moment the pressure builds. They quit when results aren't instant. They blame, complain, and retreat into comfort. But those who possess inner strength, they don't flinch. They lean into the hardship. They understand that pain is not the enemy, it's a part of the journey. They know that the discomfort is fleeting, but the reward is permanent. If you crave power, you must work for it. If you desire respect, you must prove you're worthy through consistent, undeniable action. If you want freedom, financial stability, and influence, you must create it from the ground up. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to hand you opportunity, and even if they pity your situation, that sympathy won't improve your life. The only thing that will create change is you, your discipline, your unyielding effort, your unwillingness to surrender when things get hard. That's what separates winners from the forgotten. That's what builds real men. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. The vast majority of men will never rise. They'll stay small. They'll remain glued to their distractions, sedated by comfort, quietly fading into obscurity. They'll spend their lives moaning about how unfair everything is, blaming others, blaming the system, blaming fate, but never once looking in the mirror. That's why they lose. Because the defining difference between those who make something of themselves and those who don't is ownership. Those who win take accountability. Those who lose deflect responsibility. So, which one are you? Are you the kind of man who shows up no matter the circumstance? The one who keeps fighting? Even when the odds are stacked against him? Or are you the one who hides, who complains, who waits for someone else to fix his problems? Because here's the cold, unfiltered truth. No one's coming to rescue you. If you don't take the wheel of your own life, someone else will. And when they do, it won't be for your benefit. It'll be to exploit your passivity. You'll become a background character in someone else's story. Just another forgettable, powerless figure who never took the reins. But there is another path. You can become something more. You can rise to the level of a leader, a force, a man who shapes the environment instead of being shaped by it. You can become someone who commands respect, who influences others, who matters. But that transformation won't happen by accident. You have to choose it. And not someday, now. Because time is running out. Every moment that slips by is one you'll never reclaim. Every hour wasted is another nail in the coffin of your potential. The deepest agony isn't failing. It's looking back years from now, realizing you never gave it a real shot, that you settled, that you chose comfort over conquest. So ask yourself, are you going to keep sitting on the sidelines, giving in to weakness, feeding yourself stories about someday? Or will you rise? Will you claim what's yours? Will you take back your time, your focus, your power, and finally become the man you were meant to be? The decision is in your hands, but it won't wait forever. The world doesn't slow down for indecision. It doesn't pause for uncertainty. It marches on, and it leaves behind those too timid to act. Let this serve as your final call. You don't have infinite chances. The clock is moving, and every moment you hesitate is another chunk of your future slipping away. Every second wasted in doubt, every minute given to procrastination is a piece of your legacy lost. And let me be brutally honest, weak men don't win. Weak men are forgotten. Weak men get swallowed up by life. So if you want to matter, truly matter, you need to abandon the excuses, the distractions, the passivity. You need to step forward with conviction and commit to the grind, the growth, the greatness. No one else can do it for you. But if you decide right now to take responsibility, to embrace the pain, to fight through the setbacks, then there is no limit to what you can achieve. Be bold. Be ruthless with your time. Be relentless in your pursuit. Because anything less will leave you with regret, and nothing is heavier than the regret of a man who had the potential to rise, but chose not to. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to shake you out of the illusion you're living in. Because unless you take decisive action now, you may never change at all. The ease you've surrounded yourself with, the quick comforts, the soft habits, the endless distractions, they're not harmless. They're quietly sabotaging your future. Every time you choose convenience over effort, entertainment over discipline, delay over determination, you're setting fire to your potential. You might think there's plenty of time left, that tomorrow will always be an option, but the truth is, time is a thief. Life won't wait for you. It won't pause while you figure things out. Sooner than you think, you'll wake up and realize you're not who you used to be. Your strength, your drive, your possibilities, they'll be fading, if not gone. And when that realization hits, it won't just sting, it will shatter you. That, right there, is the agony of regret. And nothing cuts deeper than looking back and knowing you could have done more, but didn't. Weakness isn't just a momentary lapse. It's a disease that slowly infects your entire existence. It eats away at your future, turns dreams into distant memories, and replaces ambition with shame. It doesn't just affect where you are, it shapes who you become. And when the years pass and you see what you've missed, what you let slip through your fingers, no amount of comfort, wealth, or superficial success will mask that emptiness. No luxury can soothe the sting of a life that was never fully lived. No distraction can drown out the voice in your head that whispers, "You settled." That's the fate waiting for those who keep postponing their purpose, who keep lying to themselves, who keep coasting through life, waiting for change to magically arrive. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can rewrite your story. You can transform into the kind of man who commands respect, who faces challenges head on and never backs down. But it starts with total commitment. You have to pour every drop of energy, every ounce of passion, every part of your soul into this journey. Build yourself mentally, physically, emotionally into a fortress. The stronger, sharper, and more focused you become, the more you'll start to feel something different. Not pain, not doubt, but pride. Every morning will be a reminder that you're becoming the man you were destined to be. Not a follower, not a background figure, but a man with conviction, grit, and power. You won't need validation. Your actions will speak for themselves. You'll know your worth, not because someone told you, but because you earned it. And when you walk through life with that kind of power, you won't blend in. You won't just exist. You'll lead, you'll conquer, you'll shape your environment instead of being shaped by it. Life isn't about lounging in comfort or chasing mindless pleasure. It's about purpose. It's about waking up with fire in your chest and refusing to let the world drag you into complacency. It's about rising every day to push harder, go further, become stronger. It's about ownership, responsibility, action. You control your future, no one else. But to claim that power, you must stop making excuses. You must decide right now that you're done with mediocrity. This is your crossroads, right here. This is your defining moment. You can choose the same old routine, the familiar path that leads nowhere, or you can rise. You can tap into something deeper. You can fight. But know this, it won't be easy. Most won't do it. Most men will take the easy way out. They'll live average lives filled with what ifs and maybes. They'll die with their potential still buried inside them. Don't let that be you. You have a rare opportunity to step outside the system, to resist the pull of distraction, and to forge your own path. You have a chance to become something rare, something powerful. Not a passive observer of life, but a warrior who makes things happen. A man who builds instead of waits. A man who leads instead of follows. That kind of life is earned. It's paid for with sacrifice, struggle, and unwavering resolve. And the longer you wait to start, the further behind you fall. You've been warned. This is your final notice. Time is not on your side. Each minute that slips away is another moment you'll never get back. Every second spent hesitating, procrastinating, doubting is a second you've handed over to weakness. And let's be brutally honest. Weakness has no place in a world that rewards strength. The truth is, fragile men don't thrive. They don't leave legacies. They aren't remembered. They fade. The world forgets them. But you don't have to be one of them. You can choose power over passivity, focus over distraction, growth over comfort. You can carve your name into the future, not by dreaming, but by doing. So choose, right now, rise up or stay where you are. Fight for your life or let it pass you by. The decision is yours, but make no mistake, your time to choose is running out.